I made $120,000 as a 23-year-old girl working as a dishwasher at the happiest place on earth. And I promise I'm not anything special and you can do it too. A few months ago, I literally won a Porsche for driving over $300,000 for one singular brand on TikTok Shop in just 3 months. And all I literally did was post TikToks every single day. But I did opt in for the cash instead of the car, so you guys can just see that screenshot right here. Now, if you're entrepreneurial like I am, then this next part will make sense to you. But growing up, I always knew working a 9 to 5 was something I never wanted to do. Working for someone else was just never in the cards for me, and the thought of clocking in and out for the rest of my life was just something that I did not want to do until I was retired. And you know, money was something that my family and I didn't really struggle with growing up, but I also knew we never really had like a ton of it, and that was something that I really wanted to change, not only for myself but for my family. And a 9 to 5 was not the ideal route that I knew would get me there. So naturally, this led me to start doing things like drop shipping and doing branded e-commerce stores. And while I was trying to figure out the different business ventures out there, I was still working a 9 to 5 job. I would pay for bills, I'd pay for small things like going out, hanging out with family and friends. And that was something that I still enjoyed to do even when I didn't have a lot of money on the table, because my love language was literally like gift giving and making sure my family and friends were good. And I even had a couple of successes in the beginning. Like one of the most notable ones was this drop shipping store that got traction pretty quickly. I started to get sales here and there, and it honestly did change the way that I looked at money. This was my real first successful achievement with making money online. But at the time, I wasn't too familiar with how the business actually worked. There were a ton of expenses like cost of goods, advertising, customer support VAs, and just making sure the customers actually got their product on time. There were a bunch of problems that I didn't really grasp the importance of, and that built up very quickly. While that one specific store made over $100,000 in sales in just a few months, no one told me how bad the margins would actually be, and the only take-home profit that I got after that was 10 to 20%. And not only that, but the cherry on top was that I got a cease and desist letter for that specific store. So I ended up taking it down completely. This actually scared me. At the time, I was like 20, 21, and I did not want anything to do with lawyers, so I completely shut that down, and that stopped my urge to dropship ever again. But I am very grateful for all the lessons it did teach me, because now I can remember whatever I did there and apply it to my other business ventures that I wanted to do in the future. But my story doesn't end there. What happened after all the dropshipping stuff? I ended up going back to another 9 to 5 because I still had to pay the bills. I still had to pay off the expenses that were on that cease and desist store. I still had orders that had to go out to these customers. Now it's transitioned to me at my 9 to 5 washing dishes in the back of a restaurant. And while it wasn't the worst thing ever, like trust me, I made a ton of good friends, a ton of memories, but this was just something that I didn't want to do. And around this time, I was still searching for making money online ideas. And that's when I downloaded a little app called Twitter, also known as X now. And that's when I came across this specific niche called Money Twitter, where it basically shows everyone's wins with making money online with drop shipping, Amazon FBA. But the one thing that stuck out to me was something called TikTok Shop affiliates. I had seen some creators make from 10 to 30K a month profit from just promoting brands on TikTok, with some of them even hitting 100K in 1 month. That honestly intrigued me so much because as someone coming from a dropshipping background, I thought that affiliates were making so much less than the person actually running the business, because that's just how my brain was functioning. But now that I found out that people are doing half the work and making so much more than the actual business owner themselves, I knew I had to find out more about this. The profit margins on here were basically like 100%. And what I mean is that if you make over $100,000 in commissions, you take home that $100,000 in your bank account. There is no cost to purchase products, no cost to ship them, no headaches with customer support, no cost to market them, and no cost for a website. This just cut all the skills that I had to learn for dropshipping in half to just one single skill itself, and that was content creation. The only cost here was the time that it took for you to make TikToks, that's it. It was literally the perfect business model for me. I already had the experience of building my previous dropshipping store and creating the content for that specific store too, because I never outsourced that. And this time around, all I had to do was film videos and post them, and then basically just collect all the commissions that I got off of each video. That honestly sounded like a steal for me, and I know it sounds fake, but it was 100% true and 100% real. So that's when I decided to go all in and try this. So this is when the analysis paralysis kicked in, and I searched up 6+ hours of YouTube videos explaining how TikTok Shop affiliate actually actually works. And that's where I learned how to create a TikTok shop with 0 followers with the specific requirements in mind to help you promote products on TikTok. But now that's changed. I think you need either 1,000 or 5,000 followers in order to promote. But back in the day, there was a loophole strategy where you can have an account with 0 followers and start promoting. So that's exactly what I did. And throughout those YouTube videos, I saw that when people were picking out products, it was kind of the same way that people were picking out what type of products to promote for dropshipping stores. And that's kind of the same mindset that I was in when I was first choosing the products to promote. And because I already had a background in beauty, because those were the products I used to sell before, I just set to that specific niche because I was very in tune with the audience. And that's when I came across my first winning product, which was a rotating curling iron. I promoted that product for the first month and made over $15,000 profit. This is honestly so eye-opening for me because the 3 months of when I made that 100K in revenue for that specific beauty product on the dropshipping store, I did not make as much as I did this first month of TikTok shop affiliate. With that dropshipping brand, I made probably around 10K after all the expenses. But after posting just 60 videos of me promoting this one product on TikTok, I made $15,000 in profit straight to my bank account. This is the moment where I knew I found something and I was just gonna go completely all in on this. Now, I do know that's not everyone's experience when they first join TikTok shop affiliate, but this right here was a sign for me to keep going and doubling down on this specific business model. The next month, I knew that I wanted to capitalize on this specific venture. So that's when I decided to find communities that have like-minded people that are doing the same thing as me that I can learn from so that I can get even better. Because the videos that I posted before were kind of salesy, and that's because that's all I knew from my dropshipping background. But with TikTok, you have to be more organic. And that's when I came across a mentorship called Creators Corner. I joined up, I started meeting more like-minded people, I started developing more connections, I found more products on my own, and with that specific mentorship, I was able to bounce ideas off of other creators, and I ended that second month with over $80,000 in profit. That's even crazy coming out of my mouth, even though that was like a year ago now. But the fact that the jump went from 15 to 80 so fast, like no other business model is gonna jump up that fast. And that's exactly what TikTok shop affiliate did. And since I had that momentum with the specific products that I was promoting, it translated over to the next month with over $150,000 in profit. And the next month after that was another 100K profit month. My life felt so surreal at that moment. The fact that I had back to back to back to back big months, and all I was doing was posting TikTok shop videos. Now, I do want to emphasize during this time, I was constantly locked in my room because I wanted to double down on this. I started picking up journaling, I started picking up reading, visualizing, praying more to God, reading the Bible. And I feel like with doing all those things combined, also leveling up my personal life and my business life, was able to translate both together into growth. And I also want to emphasize that I would not be here without God or all the things that I was believing in myself. Like my mindset shift on that first month of hitting 15K was so changed in the most positive way possible. And I feel like if that never happened, I would have never hit these big months back to back to back. And I just want to bring attention to the fact that even though I was hitting these big months, even though I was grinding, I was also setting enough time aside for my own personal health in order for me to keep doing these things, in order for me to keep pushing so hard. I feel like this is a universal experience if anyone were to experience this, is that if you go from low months to high months, you can get a really fucked up perception of money and you can get caught up in that imposter syndrome. And that's why I wanted to emphasize the fact that I was journaling, I was writing down my thoughts, I was getting closer to God, I was reading. All these personal health things that I was doing for myself helped me to not feel that specific imposter syndrome. Because I was already writing down in my journal, I believed that I was going to hit an 100K month. I believed that I was gonna hit 12K in a day. That's exactly what happened. Like, I literally have the screenshots of me writing it in my journal a few weeks prior, and it actually happened. Like, the law of attraction is so real. When you speak so positive about yourself, when you speak so positive about your life, your results, that stuff is bound to follow because you are gaining like a positive energy around you. And I'm not just saying this for like voodoo shit or anything, like I'm saying it because it's actually real. I never really believed in this stuff before, but that's also because I never really took part in it or actually tried to be that person where I'm trying to feel those things. I've always been like the outsider looking in like, oh, that stuff doesn't work, because I was coming from a negative headspace. Like, there's a reason why when we're around people that makes us happy, we feel happy on the inside. Like, that's the same energy you feel when you write about your thoughts, when you think positively about the things that's happening with you right now. And I feel like that's what's helped me with my perception of money, like, because it could have definitely been fucked up where you know, I could have immediately spent all that money. I could have just stopped right there and been like, oh my god, like I'm set for life. But I feel like because I had that grasp of what I was doing and just remembering that I have this specific goal to help my family, to help my friends, to live the life that I want to live, that's what kept me grounded. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs that talk about their story have like this kind of arc in it. And I feel like this is kind of mine. The fact that I'm literally taking the time to reflect. I feel like that's a really, really big thing, especially when you're trying to hit your goals. And when you actually hit them, it's very common for people not to reflect on the things that they actually succeeded in and accomplished that they've been always wanting their whole entire life and just chasing after the next goal. But it's also good to remember how much you have, how grateful you are, and just be happy that, you know, it continues to flourish in your life. With all that being said, that was just my story with how I started making money online, how I started making money with TikTok Shop Affiliate and succeeding with it. But I feel like the main thing that I want to drive here is that you are not alone. Like, I found a community of people that will help me with these things, that will help me with my thoughts, and I can do the same for you guys. I wanted to just let you guys know that I am doing a little bit of a consulting call. If you guys do want to hop on a call with me, talk about anything TikTok Shop Affiliate, how to get started, I can totally help you guys. I am more than open to help people. I genuinely just wanted to create this channel not only to look back at it in the future, but to also help other aspiring entrepreneurs that want to get into the content creation game. And that's just my end goal, for everyone to be happy where they are in life, to enjoy and love what they're doing, and of course have the financial freedom to do whatever they want. So with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you guys for watching all the way through. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And until next time, bye.